The last time that we met up with Adrian and Nacole, we met up with Jeff and Tori Waldo of Inspector Waldo Home Services. Now, whenever they performed the home inspection, there were certainly some things that they were identifying that are going to be very good things to request. So today we're meeting up at the office to review their home inspection report together, form their buyer repair request, and negotiate with the seller for the repairs that they would like to see made to the property. There's some things that we need to keep an extra watchful eye out for. Let's see what Adrian and Nacole choose to do. Buying your first home is a momentous occasion many of us have dreamed about for as long as we can remember. Meet first-time homebuyers Adrian, Nacole, and their family of 4 as they move forward buying their first family home.
We want to have space where we can run and stretch our feet and spread our wings and fly.
You'll be with them every step of the way from their home buying game plan meeting.
What makes you happy and excited when you visualize your home?
All the way to their closing day.
He's somewhere up there, proud of me, proud of him.
Watch their story unfold on Real Estate, The Untold Stories. How are you, good sir?
Good.
Boom! There we go.
Is she so soft? Good morning. Thank you for coming in today.
I know you guys have been really busy. Did you actually have a chance to take a quick peek at it, or will this be the first time we view it together? We premiere your home inspection report together.
No, we went like through it, glanced. We peeked at it, took a little peek, went through all the ones to make sure, you know, there were, for I guess major issues. We're like, okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, well, this is, you know, what we kind of like just did quick things in our head, but we didn't dive into it. Let's say like completely. So.
Okay, cool.
It's Girl Scout life?
Yeah.
Anything new with the Girl Scout life? Because I know you have some very talented daughters.
No, yes. Also, Ari, she went to Opportunity Village here in Vegas. It was Girl Scouts night, and she went with the CEO. She accompanied her around the magical forest. It's like it's where companies and organizations around town they donate there, and it helps adults with disabilities.
I've done some volunteer work over there too. They do a lot of amazing things here locally to help disenfranchised families and families that aren't obviously like yours that are better to do in life than them.
They learn a lot of skills and they do a lot of community work, so I love that they're involved.
We're really happy she's a part of like that. Alana too, she was a part of this team last year, and they just get exposed to a lot of like these kinds of events where we wouldn't really know about or we wouldn't really get involved with if it wasn't for them and being part of the Girl Scouts type thing. So yeah, it's part of our lives and the girls too. So
that's cool. Now I've done a couple of different things. You'll notice that you're welcome. Thank you. You'll notice that on the left-hand screen here, what we have is the actual home inspection report that you have already looked at. And on the right-hand side, I began to formulate a repair request that I was thinking that you may ask for, and we can make any adjustments to it that you see fit. Just some observations to try to make better use of your time today in the office, okay?
Okay.
So what we're looking at here, let me know, do you want me to blow this up bigger so you can see it better?
I did forget my glasses,
You did, okay.
Please.
Is that big enough?
Yes, thank you.
Would you like it larger?
If it goes larger.
Okay, okay.
Perfect, yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this, well, Control Plus, right, is all it takes. So right here on the summary, this for the property, he's notating that there was some sloped roofing issues, specifically a missing and loose broken piece of tile. And he only noted that there was like one. He says one ridge tile on the front porch is displaced and would recommend repairing it. So that's something to consider as we move through. We'll get into the images in a moment so that you can see whether it's really that big of a deal to you or not. But most certainly when you talk about a ridge tile, by the way, that is like a really important tile on our roof. So then the exterior, he said there was some rot on the door and frame. There was some moisture intrusion noted on the exterior door in the garage from the sprinkler system hitting it over time. It absorbed.
So the sprinklers are shooting against the wall, but it's damaged the door. Look at that.
Yeah.
See? One section is we're going to say move the grass at least 2 to 3 feet away from the wall.
Okay.
Pull the sprinklers back.
Now that is a project that you could do, my friend.
right.
It's a hard project.
Landscaping. It's a hard project. It's a hard project.
I'm not going to lie to you. I did that.
It's a hard project.
The first house that I
And
bought.
time consuming and tedious.
Yes.
And expensive.
No, not expensive if you do it
but
yourself.
tedious. All those except Expensive.
There will be some blisters on the hand. Let me see your hands. Are they still Marine Corps hands or did they get
No,
soft?
they're
Only one.
Only one?
I have one little. I have a boo boo yesterday.
You got a boo-boo. You have the soft hands. It's funny how that happens. You get, you do your time in the Marine Corps and then you get out and then your hands go soft. They're like, what happened to my hands? Right? I used to be able just to pick up a coal and it couldn't even feel it.
Cool.
Maybe that's an exaggeration. All the same, you can do it yourself if you want to. I've done it. All I'm just going to say it's a lot of sweat equity. Let's call it a polite euphemism. Sweat equity, right? Hard work. So then they're saying that the trees and shrubs are too close to the building. So one tree in the front yard is growing too close to the roof. It's always good to keep on top of that. Now that is seriously like a very easy landscaping to do. You can go to like the home store and something and get those little telescopic poles that kind of chop stuff off. And if you see it starting to get close to the roof, just go ahead and saw it off or cut it off, however it makes sense to you. Because you want to keep that from touching the roof because trees are going to keep growing. And as they grow, if they're growing into the roof, they're going to start growing actually into the roof and start breaking tiles or cracking tiles. And it
I
also
said that could have possibly been the tile that was the. They said that could have possibly been the issue with the tile that was falling off.
The
Is
first-
that,
the
right,
ridge
the
tile?
first mile. That there was a tree that was really close to it right there.
correct.
So it might have been the issue for it.
It's always really good when a new homeowner is ready to do some sweat equity into their new home. Doing so will save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars depending on the project. Now, if you're enjoying this episode, would you do me a really big favor, please? Would you go ahead and subscribe to this channel now and smash that thumbs up? It really means a lot to me, my friend. Thank you so much. Now let's get back to it. We need to finish off Adrian's honey-do list.
So the irrigation sprinkler, he said there was a leak. Few leaks and missing drip heads noted in the sprinkler system in the front and rear yard. Now, sprinkler systems like that, those are pretty easy too. Those are just, now you talk about tedious a little bit. The best way to do that is to learn what in your smart water system in your garage, that little system in there, is to learn which set goes to what number and then label it on like a note card or a piece of paper and just put it to the side of your sprinkler box. So you know, and then what you want to do is you want to go out and test each system, go out and watch for any leaks or anything that's going on. And those little drip heads that he's talking about, those are like so stupidly cheap. If you go over to like one of the landscape stores and get them, they're like maybe 10 cents each. I mean, they're like stupid and they just literally pop in there. It's very simple stuff. So right here on the structure, he said there weren't any structure recommendations. So going back to your point a moment ago, nothing like the house isn't going to pick up and crawl away, right? That's always helpful. So electrical, he said that exposed to mechanical damage, no cage or protective lens, globe missing in the light. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, see, this is like inspector talk. Exposed to mechanical damage, no cage or protective lens. Be like, what the heck are you talking about, right? And then it's like, oh, the globe is missing in the light in the master bathroom. Please replace.
Yeah.
Why do you say that? So it's literally like the glass enclosure that goes around a fixture.
Okay.
That's what he's talking about.
Right.
You can get some of those from like Habitat from Humanity or again the home store, or you can just change out the entire fixture. And that's a project if you know some electrical, you could actually do a DIY, look it up on YouTube, of course, or follow along. You could do that, but if you're more comfortable with an electrician, you got to do what's comfortable to you. So, because you will be dealing with it. Now, what's the most important thing when you do anything with electrical?
Turn it off.
Boom! Turn it off, otherwise you're about to get jolted away.
Yeah.
The summary is a great way to view an outline of the potential problems and maintenance items in a home. Some of the more important items on Adrian and Nacole's report include several shut-off valves and faucets that are leaking, a cracked oven door, and issues with the circulation pump on the pool.
When you first get your home inspection report, it's really easy to start diving down and wondering, what the heck? Why do I have like 30, 50, 60, 100 pages of results from what this home inspector just performed at the house I'm getting ready to buy? And it's really easy to kind of get lost in all that. So what I'd ask you to do is simply take a step back, #JTAB, just take a breath, and let's reassess calmly, coolly, and move through methodically through your home inspection report. Because a home inspector is going to deep dive and notate anything and everything from home maintenance to big things. I'm going to ask you to be real here and make sure that we keep focus on the big things and start jotting those down of what those things look like. Let's say that the AC is getting ready to die or it's getting ready to go bad or there's a problem with the water heater. These are things that we realistically want to go after. Now, once you assess that and once you do that, then you're able to meet up with your trusted real estate advisor, maybe on the phone, maybe looking at it together on a video meeting, or getting together in person like Adrian Nacole did with me. Whatever is easiest for you to form your repair request. But let's stay focused on not the cosmetic stuff, because that stuff's the easiest and cheapest stuff to fix. Let's stay focused on that most meaningful stuff to make sure that we stand the odds and we gain better chances of getting those things fixed by the seller so that you don't have to worry about it as the new homeowner. Doing so will help you move #BeyondFear, where fear is false evidence appearing real, and onto a successful repair negotiation. This brings up a really good question. Now, when you get that home inspection report, it's going to normally come to you in a PDF after the home inspector completes the report. They're going to send it to you. They're going to send it to your trusted real estate advisor. So my question is, how would you prefer to review your home inspection report? Do you prefer to sit down in person and review it? Do you prefer to review everything over the phone? Or would you prefer to set up like a video chat and review it together on screen at the same time from the comfort of your own home? Tell me what your preference is in the comments below. Thank you.
Everything in a house, fortunately, that's the reality. Everything in a house can be fixed. Everything. It's just always a matter of money and how you're going to do it, right?
That's right.
The only thing that can't be fixed is whenever it's just destroyed.
And
Natural disaster,
where it's at.
where it's at. The location.
The location.
You're right about that. You're right about that. But as it pertains to home maintenance, everything can be accomplished. But the location, no, you're not just going to be able to pick it up. But I have watched a program. See, now you got me getting nerdy, because I have watched a program where they have literally taken a home up off the foundation, put it on a truck somehow, and like they broke it up, and it was interesting. And they literally transported this bad boy into another state. So here's our tile. Yep, one tile, just like you said, you remembered correctly. Missing loose broken tile right there, the ridge. It just looks like it needs to go back up there and probably get nailed back into its hole. The nail may have somehow came out, but the tree growing over there might have dislocated it in the wind. More than 10 years old. So I love that they do this. Jeff and Tori are always kind of knowing a good age range for smoke detectors. Generally, you would like to have these upgraded, or whenever you do decide to service these, please do upgrade them to a newer smoke detector that has a built-in carbon monoxide. And the reason I would say like the carbon monoxide is because we also have gas, right, as appliances. And you can't always smell it,
Right.
but you could get asphyxiated from it. Gas fireplace, obviously.
So with that gas fireplace,
Yeah,
it doesn't emit smoke, right?
no. Not unless you put stuff on it that you shouldn't be putting on it. It won't emit smoke. But if it had any faint smoke-ish, that's why you still have a chimney. They'll let the heat and stuff go out.
Chimney.
You have a chimney.
Chimney crickets.
Chimney crickets. Okay, so this is them letting you know that your air conditioning and your heating are within acceptable ranges, which they're saying is between 14 to 22 degree differential. So in other words, when they turn it on and at a certain temperature, it should be within this threshold of 14 to 22 degrees. Little valve here on the exterior wall.
What's wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh,
They're just
nice.
This is why I think that they do a great job, because they point out things to you that they think are going to be helpful for you to know as a
Yeah.
homeowner.
Cool.
They're letting you know that this is called a hot water circulating system is present. So it tries to keep your water hot all the time for you. So that when you turn on the faucet, you shouldn't have to wait too long before you got hot water coming out. Sometimes we look at those things and we see the water heater going back up here and you're like, what's this? What's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? Right?
Right.
Why does it look like a robot? So they're letting you know why it looks like a robot.
Nice.
And speaking of that, a really important thing to do is to make sure that you adjust your thermostat to 120 degrees, not over 120 degrees temperature.
What?
Yep. Don't go higher than 120.
What are you talking about?
You have okay, what am I talking about? Good question. Okay. It's always helpful, yes. You're like, Andrew, from a curiosity, what?
We like to set it at like 70, and just 70 is like a comfortable temperature.
No, on the
Water
water
heater. Water heater, my friend.
You're how hot you want the water.
I'm
You
not-
don't want
I'm not
to scald in the shower.
Bingo. Anything over 120 can scald us as adults and potentially cause a third-degree burn. But on like the young ladies, it could do worse. So it's one of those things that realistically to most of us, 120 degrees is not acceptable temperature in the shower anyways. It'd be
No
far
way.
too hot. Far too hot.
Right.
So you don't want to boil yourself like a lobster, right? you don't want to be that crab trying
That'd
to
be
get
tasty.
out.
That would be tasty.
You would be tasty? All right, well, so you do want to try to keep
Sprinkle
it
me
under
with butter. I'm just okay now.
butter and garlic. Oh my God. Okay, I know what you guys are gonna go eat right, for lunch. It sounds
I know,
like
I'm
you guys are gonna
hungry.
have some
I'm hungry
lobster.
now.
Me hungry.
Okay, go.
Sounds like it's lobster for lunch. So, but you realistically do want to keep it under 120. A lot of people
Okay.
think, oh, well, this will be great if I crank it up to like 140, 160. It'll keep my water super hot. But I want you to consider not only the safety standpoint of what that hot water could do to you, but also what are you doing to your electric and energy bill? In our case in Las Vegas, Nevada, we're powered by gas. That means your gas is constantly kicking on because that water, even in Las Vegas, we don't get to 140 degrees. I have mine set at 120.
Cool.
That's where I set it.
You like hot showers?
I like hot showers. I mean, if I can make a steam room and, I'm happy, right?
I think he needs coffee to wake up. Or
Would you like some coffee, Adrian?
I'll take a coffee.
I don't know where he's getting the giggles from. Oh my God.
Who would have thought reviewing a home inspection report and doing a repair request was so much fun, right?
Yeah.
We should be doing this as like a skit on the strip or something.
I-
Okay, I gotta be honest with you. I don't think I've ever had so much fun reviewing a home inspection report with, well, anyone. Adrian and Nicole are just hysterical. The stuff that they come up with just is delightful, and it warms my heart they're having such a good time. But it is important as a trusted real estate advisor to maintain my focus and make sure I'm representing their best interests and guiding them along the way. Now that said, we put aside those cosmetic issues because those are the easiest ones to remedy, along with simple home maintenance. We're focusing in on those things that are most meaningful to them to ask the seller to correct so that they, as a new homeowner going in on day one, will have peace of mind and clarity. Maintaining your perspective, maintaining your clarity here will see you on to a successful repair negotiation.
So going back to the corroded lines that they were talking about under the sinks, this is what they're saying is corroded. It's like calcium lime right here.
So that's not like a cleanup thing. That's a replacement thing.
You could. My suggestion, because you see it's back here too, and you see it's all in here. I don't know. I mean, you could technically, I suppose, try to clean it if you wanted to.
Yeah, that was like
But-
years of corrosion. That
Yeah.
would be good with the new line and new.
Bingo. And then over here, there's just saying a drip leak here. Showing you the sink. There you go. It's saying drip leak at the faucet and the handles. This is obviously a spa tub, so you should be able to have a hot bath in a jacuzzi format. I was wondering if I should go there, but that's
Not
what
over 120 though.
There's that water stain that we want to ask about. So it's a little bitty thing, but little bitty water things, like going back to preventative medicine and homeowner maintenance,
Right.
want to ask. It's better to know than not know.
Right.
Cool.
The good news is that they said that there wasn't any moisture when they were
So it's
testing
probably
it.
just like a paint thing.
Or they could have left their tub running one time and forgot about
Right.
it.
That's
and
why
had
you
one
just
thing.
paint it to get rid of the stain.
Oh no! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Back it up, right? What we want to do, what we want to do is find out what caused it
Oh,
Right,
right.
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 before you go over and paint things, because you slap lipstick on a pig, you still got yourself a pig, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying right here, like a broken cord here. Whenever you lift up a window, the window should be staying, right? For a purpose of vacating the house. If they're in the need of a fire, you could use the window. They're letting you know that the cord right here was broken.
Which
So-
window is that?
Living area, south living room.
Gotcha.
So you could hire like a window company to come in and fix that if you want. Maybe a handyman. You can ask them if they know how to fix it. And then here's that fun thing called the backflow prevention device. So this actually goes up. This is underneath your kitchen sink.
Okay.
And this goes up, and what a backflow prevention device does is if your dishwasher was to get backed up and the flow started going backwards, hence the word backflow, it needs a place to go and out safely, okay? Now that's why you normally see those on a kitchen sink, and if that little cylinder that you see with the little two slits in it normally,
Right.
most people are like, what is that? It goes to your backflow prevention device, so that if that dishwasher backed up, the water spurts into the sink.
Gotcha.
So that's what it is. And normally whenever we see that, and I noted it over here before you guys arrived, is something that we would like to see fixed. Because
the off chance of your dishwasher backing up like that, we want to make sure that the water is going where it's supposed to be and not all over the kitchen floor.
Gotcha.
Especially since you do have wood in different areas.
Right.
Here's your pool. Here's your valves to the pool. This right here, very easy fix. Go over to a pool supplier. They're just letting you know you need a new basket. The baskets to go bad periodically. They're like $10 to $15 if I'm not mistaken. Best way to make sure you get the right one is to take the old one with you, because they actually come in a whole bunch of different sizes. So what I thought, and you tell me, we can rattle this off and you can tell me if you want to make any changes, and then what I'll do is I'll submit it to you real quick. You can go ahead and sign off the mobile device, and I'll launch it right over to the listing agent and go ahead and see what we can get squared away here. But what I was thinking we should probably ask for here was the moisture intrusion noted at the exterior door, was to ask them to fix it if they were of a mind to do it. Trim the trees obviously away from the roof line so that it doesn't touch. The missing drips in the sprinkler system, to please fix it. The plumbing, the shutoff valves under the sinks that have corrosion, I asked them just to replace it all. Fixtures and faucets, I asked them to either repair or replace the affected faucets. The handle that was leaking on the faucet, I asked them to fix that. Master bathtub, same thing. The drain stop being ineffective and draining slowly in the guest and master bathroom, I asked them to repair or replace the faulty drain stops to ensure that it operates and functions correctly. The dry water stain, there's your question right here. The question is, what caused the water stain, and was the situation fixed? If so, please give us any associated repair receipts for the fix. Okay, appliances, ask them to see if they could replace the broken glass in the upper oven, and ask them to install a new backflow prevention device. That's what I asked.
Cool.
Look, if you get a water stain in your house, it's highly likely we as a homeowner would notice it. Right? Pretty quick, especially if it started dripping or if it started becoming a big issue. We as a homeowner would know. Now, we may not always go back with that last step and paint over it, but we need to know, was it fixed? What caused it, ideally, if you know, like if the seller knows, what caused it and was it fixed? And if so, I'm just asking them to take it to the extra mile and give us the repair receipts if they still have them. They may or may not have them. I keep all the receipts of all the maintenance done on my house and everything that I do, I keep it all in a binder. That video that I made that you may not have seen yet about a homeowner journal, that's why I do it. I keep everything. So if in the future I decide to sell the house that I have now, I can disclose everything. I'm like, here's my seller disclosures, here's all your receipts. It's important to note when you're negotiating your repairs that the seller will have different options available to them. One of those options is the seller could agree to make any and all repairs. Now that's pretty cool when it happens. The second one is the seller could say, hey, I'm not going to make any repairs. And that sometimes happens too, though in practice I don't see it too much, but it does happen. The third thing is the seller says, hey, you know, I'll make some of these repairs, but I'm not going to make all of them. So it's like the seller and the buyer meeting halfway on what repairs are going to be made, and they're going to focus on those repairs that are most meaningful to you to get done if it's within their capability to do them. And the fourth one is called a seller credit in lieu of repairs. Now, seller credit in lieu of repairs does not mean that they're going to just write you a check and give you the money. I mean, that would be pretty cool, but that's not how it really works. Now, what it does work is just as it sounds, a credit in lieu of the repairs. So let's say that that credit was like $1,500, right? So what happens with that $1,500 and how are you going to realize it as a home buyer? Now, that's a really good question. What will happen is a separate addendum will be added to the purchase agreement to your closing documents showing that the seller is now contributing $1,500 towards your buyer closing cost in this case to make sure that you get that credit. Now, the one pro tip that I'm going to share with you right here is that if for some reason an appraiser goes out there and they notate something as a health and safety condition pursuant to your lending type, like maybe an FHA loan or a VA loan, like in Adrian Nacole's case, that seller's going to have to fix whatever that appraiser says, because the appraiser will actually condition the valuation of that property, and the loan cannot move forward until that condition is satisfied by remedying whatever it is that they notated as a health and safety condition. Now, I have made a lot of different videos around this topic. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and pop up a link about the seller credit in lieu of repairs if that's your situation, so you can deep dive that video. Now, at the end of the day, just get with your trusted real estate advisor and let's work together to make this happen for you. So what do you think? You want to ask for other things?
Pretty comfortable with the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're happy with this?
Yeah, send it over.
Okay. Send it over.
It says about how long they have to respond, right?
And this, generally, when you start negotiating repairs, this is all, we're all in your buyer due diligence period right now.
Okay.
So as long as they respond to us by the expiration of your buyer due diligence, and we did this so quick, we still have like 8 days. So as long as they respond to us within a timely manner, that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
This agent, though, has been pretty much on top of things and getting back to me pretty quick.
It seems like they want to they want to sell their house, so they're like,
Well, they fell out of escrow, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm just curious to see. I was like, man, I would have thought some of the stuff would have got addressed, but,
Right.
you know, who knows? Different buyers, different things are important too. Okay, she asked me to give her a call, so give me a second. Hey, thank you so much for getting back to me so promptly about their home inspection repair request. You asked me to give you a call. Uh-huh. Well, that's, okay. Okay. Give me a second, please. They're actually in my office. We're doing this right now. I didn't know that you'd respond so quick, so that's actually really fantastic. Thanks. Caught us at the exact right time. So what she's saying is that she's already talked to the sellers about it because they were in the escrow previously, and she was wondering if you guys would take what's called a seller credit in lieu of repairs. And what that is a certain dollar amount that could be agreed upon by both you and the seller, so that they wouldn't make any repairs, but they would give you a reasonable sum of money for you to make the repairs at your discretion.
done with that. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's pretty.
What do they think is fair?
Bingo. Good question. You heard that, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mama Bear, you're right. Mm-hmm. So what do you think is reasonable? And she's another mama bear, you know. She's like, what do you think is reasonable? Okay, what do I think is reasonable? Look, based upon experience and everything, I'm thinking that somewhere around $2,000, maybe $2,500. I know that's probably a little bit optimistic thinking, would be great. But if we could get like at least around $2,000, I think that'd be good. All right, cool. So why don't you call them or text them and then just shoot me a message or something. I'm with them in the office right now. So if you'd be so kind, just shoot me a quick text and let me know what you guys decide, and then we can put together everything else. All right, thanks. Bye. Okay, so she said that she's going to get up with the seller. She thinks that $2,000. She definitely laughed at me when I said $2,500. I was trying.
Right.
Because realistically, it's not going to probably cost that much money. So, but if you get at least like somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000, especially since some of that stuff you can do yourself, and then hire a handyman or the plumber for the stuff that's needed, you should be absolutely okay. In the case of Adrian Nacole, we saw the seller opting for the seller credit in lieu of repairs. This can actually be an extremely good thing so long as you're getting a practical and reasonable sum of money to make the repairs that are most important to you. Now, just keep in mind that with that seller credit in lieu of repairs, one of the things that makes it beneficial to you is that you have the opportunity to hire the contractors, the handy people, and do the work the way that you want it done at your time and what's convenient to you. That's one of the most beautiful things about it. That being said, from a real estate perspective in the closing process, it is important to note that there needs to be an addendum done that shows that the seller is giving you a credit towards your buyer closing cost. You cannot receive money outside of, let's say, a seller just giving you money, and you can't receive, let's say, a credit for repairs. But what you can do is receive a credit towards your buyer closing costs from the seller, and that's the purpose of that addendum. Just be mindful of that moving forward. We saw Adrian and Nacole, they're super excited about moving forward with the $1,750 they received based upon their repair negotiations. Oh, okay, there we go. Hang on. Okay, so she just texted me. The seller was thinking of like $1,500.
Hey.
No way.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm thinking that at least if we want two, and I always try to aim a little higher than what, it's just what I do. Let me text her back. $1,750? Want to try to negotiate this?
Yes. We don't have any handy knowledge.
Text
so.
it.
Cool.
I think that should be pretty sufficient enough for everything we got going on.
You feel good with that? So you do understand. Now, there is a trade-off. With the seller credit in lieu of repairs, the trade-off is actually important to know that they won't be making any of the repairs notated in the home inspection. I still expect them to answer the question about the moisture staining. She did say when I spoke with her a moment ago, she'll get with the seller and ask them that for me and see what was going on, and then I can let you know as soon as she hears back from them. and she said that she had asked him about the receipts and stuff too.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Done deal at $1,750.
Let's do it.
Good deal. So what's going to happen is she's going to send everything over to the seller. They're going to kick back a response saying that the seller's agreeing to provide $1,750 of credit. Now, that credit can't go to in the form of cash and everything else or for the repairs. The way it'll get applied is via a separate addendum to the contract that would read that the seller agrees to contribute $1,750 towards your buyer closing cost. Okay. So in other words, that $1,750 that you were going to come out of pocket with for your buyer closing cost will stay in the bank.
Okay.
So that's how the credit gets applied, is through the addendum towards your closing costs. Does that make sense?
Better for me. Yes,
Better for you.
Sure.
Just the only thing I'm going to ask you is not to forget that plumbing stuff, please jump on it.
Oh, for sure.
That tile, please jump on it.
Definitely.
Because those are the things that you want to address right away as a homeowner, okay? Now, the other trade-off is that we're using a VA loan to purchase your home, right?
Amen.
Amen, brother man. And you earned it, might as well use it, my friend. And it's a great loan. It's like the Rolls Royce of loans, to be honest with you. So that being said, when the appraiser goes in, which will be happening here probably in the next 3 to 7 days-ish, because I know that Bill had already ordered your appraisal, so it's just a matter of getting it done and getting the report. I know, right? Fingers crossed. In this case of the appraiser, right, what we have done is we assess the property value prior to making an offer. And based upon that, we actually negotiated off of the list price by $5,500. What we do know also is this property previously appraised with a previous escrow.
Right.
It didn't fall out because of an appraisal issue.
Right.
So if anything, we should have a little bit more peace of mind knowing that appraisal was just done a month ago. Now, could it be different? Absolutely. Each appraiser could look at things differently. The reason I was bringing that up in relation to your loan type and into the seller credit is because even though you're agreeing to accept a seller credit in lieu of repairs, if the appraiser walks into that house and they say, hey, from my vantage point of a home appraisal, for a VA loan from a health and safety outlook, this needs to be addressed. The seller is not off the hook. They have to address it because it'll be a condition to the funding of your loan for the new house. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even if they said, hey, this is great news, the home appraisal is at the same value that you offered, everything's wonderful, but we want you to go back and fix the ridgeline thing. Even if the sellers agreed for the credit in lieu repairs, they still have to go back now if they want to move forward with your offer. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one of those things that are very helpful for both VA loans and FHA loans because they're federally insured loans as a health and safety thing. So I just want you to know that if anything does come up from the appraiser's point of view, I don't think that it will, but if it does, then it'll need to be addressed and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Got it.
Gotcha.
What
is the next step?
Great question. So the next thing that I'm waiting on right now, and I believe that we should probably have it in the next 3 to 5 days or so, is your HOA resale package so that we can review the HOA documents and address any concerns that you may have. I know that you said that you're allergic to bees, right? And those bushes, had some bees out there. So we want to verify with the HOA documents if you're going to remove landscaping, or do you have any requirements to put back a certain type of plant? What is the process? Because some HOAs are going to be like, hey, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Some HOAs are going to say, hey, please submit a plan to us so we know what you're installing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep. And I have a question. So now that we have like the homeowner inspection done, we're asking for repairs, it's being addendummed, everything like that. I know we also got a home warranty.
Right.
Does the company get a hold of the inspection report or?
No.
No?
No, they don't get a hold of your home inspection report. It's not theirs. The home inspection report belongs to you.
Gotcha.
You're the one as a home buyer that would buy the home inspection report. You own it.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So with the home warranty company, when we get that ordered here in the next few days, what I'll send over to you is the actual receipt and the invoice showing that it was invoiced to escrow. You're not paying for that. The way that we wrote your contract, the seller's paying for the first 12 months up to $550. So just keep in mind that from the date that you close, 12 months there later, you'll probably be getting prompted to renew, if not slightly before then, if you so desire. The home warranty coverage up to $550 is a pretty strong policy. At the same time, if you want to add additional riders into the policy, you can contact American Home Shield in this case and just let them know what you'd like to add. Like say,
I'm sure they'd be ready to sell it to us.
They would be more than happy to take your money, right? So it is something that from personal experience is helpful because did I tell you like a month after I closed on the home that I live in now?
The AC or something, right?
It does happen, and that's why I'm a believer in them. I think that sometimes it's a little bit tedious, but at the same time, if it saves you thousands of dollars like it did in my case because I had to replace a unit, it was like $5,000.
Yikes.
Yeah, right? So especially a month after you close, like you're getting ready to do your buyer closing cost, your moving cost, and everything else, it's not something that you anticipate that fast to have to fix. When you're looking at your home maintenance cost and how best to plan for it as a homeowner, it's generally best to take 1% to 3% of your home's value and try to save that into its own account,
Okay.
like on the side.
For the year?
For the year, yeah. And it's not that you're going to need that much money to maintain the house, but if, let's say that you did have to replace the roof and you've been in the house 7 years, if you were saving, like 2% of your home's value, and it's like what, $419? So if you did that for 5 years or 7 years, you're going to have thousands of dollars that are going to more than add.
Each year save 1 to 2%. Is what you're saying. Okay, cool.
Because if your roof went out and it cost $30,000, $30,000 to replace it, and you've been saving like, let's say $10,000 a year for 7 years, you got $70,000 in that account.
Okay.
So you'd be like, let's do it.
For
right?
sure.
And the other thing that it becomes helpful is just as an additional savings account because you're thinking, hey, this is my house money.
For sure.
But what happens if like you have everything, you become rock star homeowners, which I'm sure you will, you're maintaining everything awesomely, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm going to leave this other $30,000 in this account, but I want to do a full kitchen renovation. I got $40,000. Let's go shopping. Any other questions for me?
No, I think we're set. We're good.
All right. Well, I think it's time for you to go hit the lobster.
Hit the hot showers.
Buffet.
Hit the hot showers. The buffet. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for coming in, my friend. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Thank you
Good
so
to see
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on getting the seller credit. If anything
I
comes
know.
to mind,
That's great news.
it's fantastic.
It really is. It's helping with the whole process, just become easier, right? Yeah.
Are we saluting now? I mean,
Oh my.
that was a lot of fun working with Adrian Nacole with reviewing their home inspection report and putting together a repair request. Fortunately, we got the answers that we needed today, and now we know that they're going to move forward with a seller credit in lieu of repairs. So here's the thing. Sometimes people freak out with a home inspection. There's nothing to freak out about. It's not a pass or fail. A home inspection report is simply the opinion of a professional home inspector and what they're seeing as of the time of the home inspection. It's not to say that it's something can't change in the future, but that home inspector is going to give you a different perspective, a different vantage point of what's going on. So keep in mind, it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something to get a lot of anxiety about. It's something that's just an additional fact so that you'll know what's going on with your new place that you're going to call home. So next up, we're going to be looking at the HOA documents and making sure everything checks out for them and addressing any questions they have. We look forward to catching up with you soon. Adrian Nacole are on a roll right now, and I'm super excited for them. Adrian Nacole! But this time, now we start drilling down onto the HOA component.
I told him I don't think it's a bad idea.
Now, a lot of people, when they get ready to buy a home, sometimes think, oh, I don't know if I want an HOA. You have 10 core things that you're going to get, and I have them up on this left-hand screen here. I, with the power invested in me, do hereby pronounce you house and family.